Hey guys, today we're talking about everything that we're doing to build our soil here. We are making lots of compost now, we're making biochar, and we are investing in some KNF or Korean Natural Farming amendments. We're collecting indigenous microorganisms, watering in microbial solution, LAB, and we'll get into all of that, so stay tuned.
In our last video, we talked about the different veggie beds that we had started, and since then we've got all of our flower beds formed and planted. So we have a cut flower garden in a raised bed that was originally here, and we've just repurposed it and are using it. We have a dahlia bed as well as cosmos and other things, but primarily we've got the dahlia tubers and dahlia seedlings. And then finally we have a sunflower zinnia bed in the front. So I'm very excited because if you if you're walking past the house, the ideal, what is going to happen would be that you're walking past the house and you see 4 rows of zinnias with a back row of sunflowers, and you can't even see the house. There's just this beautiful wall of sunflowers. So that's the ideal, as long as the bugs don't eat it, as well as having the dahlia bed in the background, as well as your cut flower bed, adding all those pops of color. Very beautiful. That's what we've been doing. So my seedlings have been in their soil blocks for too long already, and so we had to make these beds really fast. First, we watered super well. We did a layer of cardboard, we watered that, and then I didn't have any compost. We didn't have any compost left over from our last pile, and so I just went around the yard and stole topsoil in different places. So not enough to make a hole, but enough everywhere that you can see little shovel marks. But basically I just used enough dirt to weigh the cardboard down for now, and we'll go back and we'll add all the compost we need. We did wood chip pathways. There's this pile of wood chips that was here when we moved here, so we just have been using those for our pathways. They're very well aged, so we're super excited about that. They're very beautiful pathways. So we've got wood chip pathways and then beds that are covered with a little bit of soil and grass mulch. So I mowed and mulched, and then we've been doing additional things to help. But basically just trying to get those seedling roots in the ground. We just need to have them start growing, even if it's not ideal this year. As the days have passed since I've planted, I just went back and I've been spot planting. So anything that just died right away or the bugs got right away, I've been replacing. So I had extra things, but I planted 500 plants in the front yard in one day. It's basically like a few breaks on a Saturday, just like nonstop planting with a few breaks. So that was a big project. It was 2 rows of sunflowers, a row of dahlia seedlings, and then 4 rows of zinnias. There's a lot in the front. It's going to be so beautiful if it works out. And then we've been slowly planting the other things too. So I'm excited. I've got some pincushion flower. I've got straw flower, gomphrena. I've got rudbeckia. I'm going to try verbena this year, and it's called purple top verbena. And I'm going to try a hyssop. I'm going to try anise hyssop. Got some stasis and some zinnias in that bed. That's what I've got in my cut flower bed. For my cut flower garden this year, I chose all colors that go together. So I don't really have any sort of standout bright colors. They're all very pastel-y. I got a bunch of florets, zinnias. So I'm excited. I got her golden hour. I've got alpenglow. I've got precious metals, and I've got Victorian wedding. And so I'm really excited to try those out. Hopefully they make it. And then I've got an Oklahoma ivory zinnia. I've got Queenie red zinnia. So I'm going to try all of those together. Got a couple pinks from Eden Brothers. Eden Brothers has a couple of really beautiful pink zinnias. So I've got a lot of flowers that go together, hopefully, and really complement each other. Got some beautiful dahlias. I'm excited to try it this year. I've got a lot happening in the flower garden this year that I'm really excited. I'm hoping to make some really beautiful bouquets, and I'll show you that once that happens. I think I've come to the end of the planting season for now. We'll do succession planting for sure, but I've come to the end of the season and I feel a little bit let down. I was starting seeds for almost 6 months, starting with lavender at the beginning, and now it's done. And I'm like, what do I do with myself? 6-month project is a big deal. So I think I feel a little bit lost at this moment. Just I've started looking at seed catalogs again, and I'm like, why why do I think I'm going to buy seeds right now? I just don't know what to do with myself if I'm not starting seeds. So we'll definitely do some succession planting and do replacement planting for things that die. I planted 125 sunflowers in the back, and I've just been, every time a bug eats one, I've got so many extra that I just go and replace it. So hopefully we'll have a really good show, and then I can do a succession of sunflowers later in the season and get a second round of sunflowers. Because we moved to a new place, I didn't have any spring flowers, and so I just have to wait now for the summer crop, and I'm just like twiddling my thumbs. I feel a little bored. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And speaking of finished projects that we've been working on for months, we finally finished my parents' chicken coop. We were building this at their house as a part of their kind of garden system. Chickens are amazing at, obviously, at giving eggs, but also at processing materials and making really good compost. So in certain natural farming circles, the chicken coop is called the engine of the farm. So we created a really small suburban chicken coop. It houses 4 hens, and we're really happy with the way it turned out. The whole point of it was to make it as low maintenance as possible. So you can fill the feeders from the outside, you can fill the water from the outside. The eggs are easily collectible, again, from the outside. And then when you want to clean it, you can easily fit in a wheelbarrow to scoop up all the materials, put it in. We use the deep litter method. And so there's a lot of materials that they're constantly kind of pecking and shredding and tossing around and pooping in and making really good future compost. We'll take out the bedding and the litter in their chicken run and hot compost that in a separate pile. So really happy with how that turned out. I think my parents are as well. And it's going to inform the one that hopefully we are able to build eventually here and even just in the future. And if you want plans for the chicken coop, go ahead and just hit the link in the description and it'll give you those.
Now that we've finished planting everything, we're actually going to go backwards to where we would originally have started with, and that's soil building. So we are working with very dense soil with poor drainage, and so we're starting to backtrack a little bit. The roots are helping us build soil for sure, but we're going to start helping and implementing some more nutrients as well as some better drainage and just different inputs that are going to help with water retention. It's going to help with plants just being fed as well as them helping us feed the soil for next year, next season as well. Every year you feed and like take care of your soil and are growing soil, the next year is going to be even better and the next year is better.
And the main thing that we're doing to build our soil, I would say, is our compost. We created a 2-bay composting system from some scrapped pallets. I got them at just the back of a store in town, and I kind of had to piece them together. And they're very large. They're about a cubic meter, which will end up giving us about a cubic yard of compost per batch, just by the time it shrinks down. So we're really happy about that. That's going to be really essential for the water retention and also just for adding organic matter and nutrients general to the soil. One of the main things that we're also contributing to our compost, ever since we learned about how to make it, is activated charcoal or biochar. So we are doing everything we can to make as much biochar before the burn ban hits our area, which is probably any day now. And we basically we're doing these very safe but very, very hot controlled fires so that we can make really high quality activated charcoal, and then we'll add it to our compost pile to kind of charge it with the nutrients and microbial life. And that way it won't rob any nutrients from the plants in the soil. If you just lay it directly on the soil or mix it in, it'll soak up a lot of nutrients for a while there. And then it'll start to give them back. But it's such a porous material. So we're just using it in our compost. That is one of the most important things that we're doing right now. So one of the other really important things we're doing, possibly more important at this stage in our gardening, is we are making our liquid amendments. And these are natural amendments. Cassidy, what are the natural amendments that we're making? Why are they so helpful for us right now?
Yeah, so we've got 3 right now and a 4th one in the works. So the 3 that we have right now is microbial solution, and this helps with soil tilth. We have LAB, which helps with the microbes, just helps them continue to grow and expand. And then we have the 3rd one, which is our fertilizer, and this is just nutrients to the plant. So you can have it as a foliar spray or soil drench, or a soil, like it can be diluted for the soil for the roots. So got those 3. So the reason that we're going for the liquid amendments right now is that compost is much slower feeding of the soil, and so next year compost will be, our top priority like it is right now, but it won't really come into effect till next year, even if we spread it now. So the reason we have the liquid amendments is that they are just a really fast success. So it's like you fertilize, you can see the plant get greener almost before your eyes. So that's kind of why we are doing that, and just really trying to help these plants have the best shot at getting their roots into this really dense clay-like soil, very low nutrients. This is our best shot at giving this year's plants a healthy life, is our liquid amendments. So if you are starting a new garden, or you are starting a garden for the first time, even though you've been there for a while in the place that you're at, I just highly recommend you make yourself some fertilizer right away. It takes like 2 weeks, and then you have something to give your plants and help them along. We've got a video of how to make a natural fertilizer for free. Click on the link and you can go watch that video.
And we also have PDFs explaining a lot of these things, just like a natural fertilizer recipe and our microbial solution recipe. So definitely check that out. And lastly, something that we have just started to get into is the indigenous microorganism collection and cultivation. And so this is known as IMO stages 1 through 4. Put it really simply, you put a box of rice in the forest, you're collecting or trapping indigenous microorganisms from your area, and as they colonize the rice, you get to check on it and take it home, preserve it in brown sugar. And so we're just starting to go through that process. I've tried to collect IMO like 4 times now. And finally it's working. I think I just hit the season at the right time, found the right spot. It was kind of a nice damp area where there was some nice mycelium development. We're really excited about that. That's gonna hopefully, so we've heard, is that the IMO stuff is even more potent than the microbial solution, which is a JADAM style thing, which has been really great for us. But we just want to see what the Korean natural farming, the original, kind of is like. So really excited for that. Stay tuned. We'll be coming out with a video on everything that you need to know about collecting IMO for beginners, because we're beginners. So we're excited about that.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Also subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this in the future.